So this video is for my fellow fathers. About 4 years ago, I was in a full-time job, traveling a lot, all over the world. Very exciting. And I was working more than 40 hours a week. However, I would have liked to spend more time with the kids and the family. But I was 100% sure that my job didn't allow me to work less, have a daddy day or so, that's so called. So I was among the 90% of fathers that are always in these researches come up, European research, Swiss, in the Netherlands. 90% of fathers, they work full-time. And 90% of that same group of fathers would like to spend more time with their kids and family. I was one of those fathers. And most likely you are one of those fathers as well. So let me take you on my journey over the last 2 years and share some ideas, insights, and tips and tricks even that can help you to go to the state of spending more time with your kids without working less at the first place. That's not the first goal. So I think you first have to be aware of the fact that your relationship with your children matter, and it matters for them, for the family, and for yourself. And from that point on, you can maybe reconsider to work less one day, but that's not the first intention. At least that's how I see it. So I have gotten the insight over the last 2 years that relationships matter. And actually the relationship between me and my children is the most important thing in their lives for them to mature and to grow up into responsible and independent adults. And that insight, that relationships matter, and that the attachment, the relationship with me and my children is so important. And I think that's a very intuitive concept. I think many of us here will agree on that. In more or less extent, no? That a relationship matters. And with our kids, it's the most important thing in their world. And if that's something we agree upon here, then we also automatically should agree upon the fact that being separated from one another is the toughest thing there is for kids. And there's a lot of separation going on in our modern lives. And for dads, that's a topic of all times, no? We all tend to work 40 hours a week and more, and our fathers did so, and our grandfathers did so, etc., etc. So I have come to have several ways around it to create togetherness when we are apart. So I'm at work, my daughter is in the daycare, and my son is on school. And even if we are not together, I can create this magical feeling of togetherness. It's like magic, no, but it's not. But I am conscious about that. And you might think, oh, that guy doesn't have a life anymore, but it's very easy. And it's just, if you set your mind to this idea, then you come with all kinds of creative ideas. So I will share with you some of the creative ideas that I have used and that I'm still using it's called bridging separation, to bridge the separation. I love that metaphor. So let me come to my my tips and tricks, or what I do, what I think is extremely successful in the approach that I have right now. And the first one is, let me have it, matching socks. So I bring my daughter, these are my daughter's socks and these are mine socks. I bring my daughter to the Kita and I am off for a day at work and she's on the Kita for a day. And then when I make sure that we wear both the same socks, and I drop her off at the Kita and I mention about it and I talk about it. And so during the day, she will look down and see her socks and think of me. So then we are together even when we are apart. And I might do the same because my colleagues might say, hey, Meijner, that's funny pink socks you have there. I say, yeah, my daughter is wearing the same. So although we are apart, we are together. Another thing you can do is something with the lunchbox, no? With my son. So you can write a note and put it in there as a surprise. So he opens it and he sees a surprise. So you can put in actually anything in this box as a surprise. Something what I did when I was on a longer travel with my wife, we prepared a Polaroid puzzle. So I prepared like 10 Polaroid photos for every day when we were not there. And I asked the caregivers, my father and mother that took care of my kids, to put in a Polaroid photo in his lunchbox every day. So he would be in school and open his lunchbox and see a picture of something. And the idea was that he should guess what the picture was about. It was a lamp, it was a pencil, screwdriver, and the first letter matched to a word that a 10-letter word of the 10 days that we were gone. And so he would be thinking of us every day when he opens his lunchbox, and he has some attachment to look forward to and to make that word. And it worked perfect. Although we were away for 10 days, he constantly had the idea that we were together. Another thing that we do a lot is I read this beautiful book. It's called The Invisible String by Patrice Karst. It's a book about connection, about attachment, it's all about stay together when apart, to bridge separation. And I read it when my wife is on a work trip, and I read it at least every month in a week 2 or 3 times now, to really sink in that our relationship is forever and that it beats every other problem there is in the world. And if you think with this mindset of relationships matter and therefore we have to bridge separation and think about separation and see how we can stay together when we are apart, if we are on the same page on that inside, then your interactions come automatically and you will think of very creative ideas that are very easy to implement. It's just a mindset and the inside that opens your eyes and walk around this theme. And I love it, and I see it in my kids that it's so helpful for them. And that's what it is for this Father's Day 2019. I hope that you like it. You might have get some benefit out of it. I would love to have some feedback from you if you are on the same page and have thought about creative and funny ways to work around this separation issue. Well, up to here, happy Father's Day. Claim your Father's Day and make it matter. Okay, with love from Lutzer. Bye-bye.